What's up, jobbers, and welcome to the latest edition of the Jobber Knocker podcast. As always, Nestlemania alongside for the ride is a man that always has his bandana ready, JC.
Well, Nestlemania, I would just like to join the Judgment Day as well because Daddy's home, baby. It's happened. The Nestle Cruise. I literally was dying. So I obviously I didn't get to rot till today. But I'm going. I do own X, so I see what happens. And as those of you who know, and those of you who don't know, Nestle and I had a bet. That I said that Drew McIntyre would be turning heel soon, and he said no chance. So he's like, I'll give you to WrestleMania. I'm like, no. It's gonna happen soon. That we can go to the end of the year. So every week we come on here, I can feel him getting a little more cocky, being like, they're gonna drag this shit out, and I'm gonna win. I'm gonna win this bet. So then I go and I see his tweet about how it was something like Drew McIntyre talking to Seth. They're teasing us. They're really not going to do this, are you? And not 2 hours later does that big schlonny sword go right up Jey Uso's fucking Usi ass, and we get a heel McIntyre with mommy on stage to close the show, and he tweets out, Daddy's home, baby. So Nestlemania, you, sir, are going to have to pay the piper. I have not finalized what your punishment will be. I've gotten some suggestions. I'm also looking for more. So, yeah, I am pretty pumped and jacked for this because we got our wish. Drew McIntyre's a heel. We've been waiting.
So besides the fact that I have egg on my face, that's fine, as usual. But I will say, when I saw it, I went, finally, like, whatever. But then there was also this hilarious thought in my brain. And this is going to, I know exactly how it's going to come off. It's going to come off as me trying to, like, backtrack, and that's totally okay. But there was a thought in my head, legitimately, where I was like, it wouldn't be outside the realm of WWE possibility here for them to be like, fucking handshake, right? And then he turns back to a babyface directly after fucking War Games just to fuck with us. They could do that.
I mean, he could be the reason Judgment Day loses the match too. Like, it could be like a thing like Daniel Bryan and the Wyatt family.
Yeah.
But you know what? I'm considering the case closed because he was posing with mommy in Nestlemania.
Birdsky says, I need a Nestle Gargano cosplay as punishment.
I don't really hate that.
I really don't love that.
We could definitely easily get you a Johnny Wrestling shirt. That is very much in the realm of possibilities. Because look at all things here. There was one thing I looked up. I was looking at Kelly t-shirts, and they're literally all just t-shirts of her half naked on them. So
if you want me to keep my marriage intact.
Exactly. So I looked at that. I'm like, I can't have him do that. I'm like, can I just get like a face with her little smiley face that Nestle can wear on this podcast every week? But no, it was literally all full body stuff. So yeah, if you want Kelly shirts, she's half naked on all of them if you're into that. But I wouldn't be caught dead in that shit. So
I think it's one of those things where you just, like we've always talked about, face shirts don't sell as well as other things. So that's
I literally, so I was looking for a face shirt, but this wasn't even a face shirt. It was a full body shirt.
Speaking of which, by the way, folks, considering we're talking about t-shirts, our boy TJ of the JK, who does a fantastic job on our merchandise, he also wanted to make sure I did a shout out. I'll probably do it a couple of times when we drop this, but I wanted to make sure, go over to tpublic.com/jobberknocker. And right now for 3 days, that's right, 3 days is a 35% off. That's 35% off. And as we were starting this program, JC was looking at all of the merchandise and picking up.
I'm still putting together my art. Nestle was yelling at me before the show. He's like, are you going to focus? Are you going to lock it up going live? I'm like, yeah, I'm still. The cool thing about tpublic.com/jobberknocker is we have a million designs, which are all great, but My favorite part is just going on there and changing the different color of the t-shirt I want, and just seeing what design looks with some crazy colors. Like I have the Dolphin shirt in pink. I have the Nestle Curse in bright orange. What else do I have? I should have worn one today, but I love mixing and matching the colors. And
I love the jobber.
the jobber in the blue is good, but I can tell you right now, let's head over to my cart. You know what one I really like is that heather blue. And then one of the new t-shirts, the JC's Meat Match of the Week t-shirt, looks super hot fire with the heather blue, or the Royal Heather, it's called. I'm looking at a full circuit. Just all this type of stuff, Nestlemania. All this could be yours for, I think the shirts are going for 22 in soft style, 16 regular. There's long sleeves, there's sweatshirts, there's stickers, there's coffee mugs. There's other shit too. So yeah, you should definitely check it out, because during this program, I'm going to continue to shop, and you're probably going to get mad at me.
I am going to get mad at you, but I will also say, because our boy, the backcracker's in here, if there's not a full circuit purchase from him in the next 3 days, I'll be shocked, because he came up with the idea. So this is all him. So full circuit, baby. But we should probably get into the regular part of the program, because we've been fucking jerking off for 6 minutes here. So we should probably get into the best part of the show, right? The shine.
Yeah, we pretty much talked about they're always in the shine, much like Mandy Rose, RIP. It's the Drew McIntyre stuff. I mean, you look at the name of we have the program here, you have on screen, heel turns. There's none bigger than Drew McIntyre. This just makes sense. It sets up the 5-man war games. You have Cody after they went off the air teasing people with Randy Orton, because that's the big rumor. Also have CM Punk on social media just continuing to fucking tease, which is hilarious. It is in Chicago, so don't never say never. But I mean, we all kind of think it's Orton, but either way, this is exciting. I mean, Cody's on the fucking poster with the face paint. He's got his little fucking little rival there, buddy Seth, is on Team Cody. But it's Team Cody versus Team Judgment Day. Rhea said Priest can be the leader. JD McDonough's an official member of Judgment Day. We're full speed ahead for, what are we, 10, 11 days away?
I think it's 11 days away. Yeah. I mean, it's on Saturday night, not this Saturday. This Saturday is actually
Saturday.
So my question is Collision canceled because or is Collision in addition to a YouTube show plus the pay-per-view on Saturday? I don't know.
I have no fucking
Or is Collision on Friday? I don't know.
You gotta, if our boy Joe Stopper's in the chat, maybe he knows, because he's our official AEW correspondent. Read his stuff on jobberknocker.com.
We are hitting those plugs, baby.
Yeah, we're hitting all the plugs today on my brain. 5 stars, 5 flames. Hit us up on all the podcasting platforms. Like the shit on YouTube, share, do all that shit. Twatting us. Yeah, all that fun stuff. But yeah, I don't know, what the fuck are we talking about? My brain is running on negative
energy, and that's why it's going to come to me. So Daddy's home.
My
Daddy's
focus
there.
level is 0.
You got a lot going on here. We had the main event in the tag match where they had some chicanery at the end there, as you talked about. Big heel turn there. It is rough. It is definitely rough, but it's interesting because they didn't really mention 5-on-5. It seemed like when they did the packages, they went out of their way to not show the graphic or anything like that. They just did the rules. So it's like, okay, now he's part of it. But man,
well, he didn't join till after, so all the graphics, because next week they're doing the advantage match where
thing,
so they had
heel, to me, it's like you might as well just literally put them in a promo and do a coin flip and be like, oh, the heels win, because the heels always win. Yeah. They always win the advantage for war games, because it makes no sense to have an advantage for the babyface unless one of the babyfaces is going to turn on somebody. Like, that's it. That is the only part about war games that is like very cookie cutter and set up. Like, it's almost a foregone conclusion for me. So, and by the way, yes, you're right. I do have all my plugs on the casting couch. Thank you for much of all that. If you want to put a Nestle's couch together for a t-shirt, maybe, or a casting Nestle's couch, or whatever you want to think about.
No one wants to sit on your fucking couch.
First off, that's not a couch. That's my bed. But
no one wants to sit on that either.
Well, I have to sleep on that thing. But anyway,
no, that's why I don't want to sit on it. It has Nestle all over it.
Anyway, so we talked about that one. Maybe we should grade all of these heel turns.
Yeah.
So the Mac, we knew that was kind of a foregone conclusion. Does a heel turn need to be something out of nowhere? Does a heel turn need to be something that you didn't see coming, or is it still satisfactory in your opinion? In the chat, listening, text me, whatever. When it just happens, or does it need to be shocking to you?
I mean, obviously, if it's shocking, that's ideal. But in today's wrestling world, like, we're just so into it being on the internet, it's impossible for us not to. And we're also, like, we've been watching wrestling for such a long time now. We can kind of read the tea leaves of wrestling because, look, I use the same shit a lot of times. But I mean, in terms of the McIntyre one, I thought it worked perfectly. And the reason why I really like it is because it makes sense. They've been building towards it, and he literally turned on the guy that he fucking hates because he blamed one of the guys he blames for all his troubles. So the McIntyre, I'll give it an A-.
Okay, that's fair. So we'll go on to the next thing. I think we'll go in order to me.
Are you gonna grade it, or am only I grading it?
Well, I would say it's a strong B for me.
Yeah, you're always a low. You'd be that professor that like refuses to give out A's, and all the students are like, yeah, because you're good. You're like that guy.
Oh, he said, like, you want to tell me what's shocking is that Nestle actually had a good burn on Twitter last night. Thanks, appreciate that. Jesus Christ, I'm good for one. A broken clock is right twice a day, right? So what the hell,
That's
right?
True.
So, and of course, they're making fun of my hair, saying the plugs are really about my hair. This is great. This is wonderful. This is just fucking just shovel the shit on Nestle Day. I'm going to go to the next one, which is really, I think, to me, more exciting is Santos turning on Ray. I was waiting for it. We didn't think it was going to happen right away. Apparently, Ray went into knee surgery, which speedy recovery, 6 to 8 weeks, apparently, if you ask Goliath Freezer. But I love it because we talked about this whole time about Santos, JC, is that Santos has a great presentation. He speaks eloquently in both languages. He's got a lot of gusto. He can work in the ring. He is a little bit undersized, however, that he still has a big personality, so it works in his favor. It's nice to see it. I will be curious to see what happens now. Will the LWO, at least his boys, come with him? I think Zelina's going to be between a rock and a hard place. Carlito clearly doesn't like him. So there's a lot there. I'm curious your thoughts, because to me, this was an A- for me. So I like it.
Yeah, I'm giving this one an A. This is an easy A for me. This is like, I mean, if we want to do it, we can give him an A+. I'll give him a 97 because this is the one, like we said, we've wanted the most. And this one, it just kind of, you had a feeling after the match at Crown Jewel when he kind of like, he took the Nux, but then he left them on the ring that it's like, okay, we're going towards it. But I just loved how much more personal this felt because we know that Ray is legitimately Santos' idol. He did a good job of expressing that as it was happening, leading into it and everything. I mean, Zelina, I thought was a big part of this, being shocked. But I will say, because I was curious too about if his like two little cohorts in Del Toro and Wild would go with him, but they were like checking on Ray after. So it seems like Santos might be on his own, at least at first. But I do love that Carlito's kind of the guy who stepped in because, Carlito is just such a larger than life personality. He's a guy who's been around the block. He's a veteran. So he's kind of seen these things and he probably this is something that someone like him would recognize. And I love that he called it out and he was kind of the one. And with Ray going down for knee surgery, I think it's easy to do a Santos Carlito program here. And then maybe that's how his boys turn, is like during the match, they help out Santos or something. But I love this. And I think it's exciting because it kind of gives this group, which is just kind of like they're on TV every week, but they've been treading water. It's like, okay, now we got a little oomph. We got a little intrigue. We got a little zaza to go with this.
Zaza. Okay. Je ne sais quoi. I don't know. A little oomph, little gusto, something, anything. Look, I'm excited for Santos. I hope they give him the way he was presented in NXT with like the backstage segments and like in different restaurants and like all that stuff. Like
the feud with Tony D'Angelo was A+ shit.
Yeah. And honestly, I would not hate Tony D and the family coming up and being part of Santos. That would be fucking cool, I think. Because then you can feud against the LWO. Because honestly, here's the thing. Like
they'd have to turn them.
I don't really love the LWO. Never have, never will. And so it's just like I love Rey Mysterio. I think he's one of the best of all time. Everybody else in that group, and I'm leaving Carlito out of it, just feels like right? Like they're just all supporting characters. So, and especially if Ray can't wrestle for the next 8 weeks, it's got to be a Carlito thing, right? Like he's going to have to feud with Carlito for the next 8 weeks, which is going to be like, it's going to be great. The matches are going to be good, but then what? Like, is he going to go against his friends? Is Zelina going to have to give a problem here or there? I don't know. Like
we're going to find out. Adam Mania.
Adam Mania. I like that. There's another Adam in this chat that would probably enjoy that t-shirt. Adam Mania. And finally, since we're gonna grade these, Asuka in the main event of SmackDown turns on Belair and Charlotte, and supposedly joins Judgment Day, Damage Control. Excuse me, they might as well be
Discount Judgment Day.
Discount Judgment Day. But it's hard because so here's my thing, and this is just me, and you can all tell me that I'm wrong, which you all do. That's what you're here for. I feel like Asuka's getting into a point here where she's getting into Big Show territory, where she's turned and done so many random things sometimes. I don't remember what she was doing and what she can be doing and who she's feuding with. And is she a good person or a bad person? Does she have an issue? Does she not have an issue? Is she a clown makeup? Is she just regular Asuka? Is she business Asuka? Is she wearing sneakers? Is she wearing a blazer? It's just like they've turned so many times with her. I just feel like it lessened it for me. And I feel like I'm more interested in seeing Bayley get kicked out of Damage Control than anything else. That's it. I don't give a shit about anything else.
What have I been spouting off on this program for like 2 months? Get this fucking Bayley EO shit going. And we have. That's why this one's exciting. Like, I mean, this one, there was a lot more clunk to this throughout the night. But in terms of an actual turn, this was the one I didn't see coming. I didn't expect it. So I think that is a cool aspect of it. I'd give it a B+. But here, I think you by just like kind of complaining about not understanding Asuka is, I think, a good reason of why this turn needed to happen. It's like she hasn't been doing everything. She's just been kind of like floating around. She was a champion for a little bit, and then she's just kind of been like, doing her thing, like whatever, being Asuka, whatever. But it's like now it's like she might have some direction. She's reunited with Kairi Sane, who she was a multi-time tag team champion with, and teaming with EO and Dakota, and Bayley's still there as well. I mean, this obviously, we're going to get probably a women's War Games match out of this in some capacity, but it's the Bayley thing was why this is so interesting, because it's like suddenly it's like EO has brought in 2 new members of Damage Control without Bayley's knowledge or consent. And I will say, as hokey as some of the shit was with the hugging, I kind of enjoyed that, because it was just like, I was just like, this is great, because Bayley being anti-hug now is just, it's like a full circuit moment. So buy the shirt, tpoke.com/jobberknocker. We're going to say that all night. Sale, 35% off. I'm going to be like used car salesman. But no, I think this is great. I saw your tweet, your whiny little tweet before I watched this, because I was at work going, get the value of the heel turns when you do 2 in one night. Well, you know what I say to that, Nestlemania? This was the most interesting episode of SmackDown in a long time. Know why? Because shit happened. You're coming on every week being, Roman Reigns isn't going to be there. Logan Paul isn't going to be there. How are they going to make this show good? Well, they just fucking did it. They had 2 heel turns in one night, made it one of the most must-see SmackDown episodes, and all of a sudden it's like, whoa. We have 2 new major storylines going forward on SmackDown to fill the time of those 2 champions not being on much. So there's your fucking answer. You can't complain about it. These were all good decisions. I loved it. 2 in one night. I would argue that it makes the second one even more unexpected. So Nestlemania, I got 2 words for you.
You're frozen is what you are to me. I don't know why, but you're frozen.
Freeze you, bitch.
I don't know why you're frozen. Maybe you have a bad internet
connection. I'm not
connection.
frozen on my end, so.
Well, maybe you're frozen on my end. I have no fucking clue.
Yeah.
Anyway, listen, I will say this much. I think it diminishes the heel turns. I do, personally, because it feels like it's too much. Right? Like you lessen, because here's the thing. Santos happens like almost the beginning of the show and at the end of the show. It wasn't like right after each other. That would have been more courageous. It was fine. But I will just say that I always hate when certain things happen, the same kind of things happen on the same show, because to me that seems redundant to me. Here's my logic. You're telling me you couldn't wait a week for one of those? You couldn't wait a week?
I don't think so, because
I think you could have.
Here's the 2 points. It's like, you've been pitching about the champions being gone, so now it's like you set up 2 major storylines, but 2, it's also War Games is close, so the woman one had to happen now to set that up, and Rey Mysterio is going to surgery, so they had to get him off TV immediately. So even if they did have these planned at separate times, circumstances aligned, and it was like, we got to pull the trigger on both of these right now, because we can't wait till next week for the women's War Games, and Rey needs to fucking get under that knife so we can get him back for Rumble season. So we got to do this now. So there you go. Pretty
fine.
simple.
That's a very simple argument that I will bend the knee to. It's fine. All right. All right.
Get on your knees.
Okay. Anyway, so anything else that's very positive that you would like to talk about, JC?
Oh, of course. There's a lot of good shit this week. Nestlemania, where do I want to start? I probably should have fucking thought about it, but like I said, brain not functioning. But I loved KO on commentary. I thought that was an absolute delight. Another reason why this is one of my favorite episodes of SmackDown of the year. KO's just fun. He's interesting. He's funny. He brings different perspectives. It's just like he makes Kevin Patrick interesting. That poor guy is just brutal sometimes over there. But it's just like it was a perfect fill-in for Graves, and I love that they turned it into a little storyline of his own. We know he hates Waller in theory because they're annoying, and it was this whole thing where you can't touch anyone if you get suspended. We're going through the Waller match with LA Knight, and I'm like, he's gonna end up getting suspended at some point here. You have Waller and teasing him, as Kathy Kelly says, it's the first time in Waller's life he's made someone wet. That was pretty funny because Kathy Kelly's a stud. But yeah, it just I enjoyed that aspect of it, and obviously it ended with him attacking them, and he will be quote unquote suspended. So we'll see how that plays out. But this is a fun first little transition to SmackDown for Kevin Owens, is that I'm working with two of the more annoying heels in the show.
I did enjoy it as well. The tie was great, and he had a lot of great little. He had a couple of zingers, but also he really added to the. He didn't get in the way. He just knew when to talk, and it was great because he was talking about stuff, and then being like, over here, like Montez is losing his effing mind, and like he was adding to it and painting with just colorful strokes of stuff. So I just really enjoyed watching that. So it was a lot of fun. Can I tell you something that I enjoyed?
I guess.
You guess? Well, then just keep going then. Whatever. It's fine. Go ahead.
No, let's hear it, bitch. Speak.
First off, don't call me a bitch because I'm not a bitch.
Bitch.
Don't call me a bitch. Don't call me.
You literally, you want to talk, and I see you staring at your notes. You weren't ready. You weren't ready.
I was ready. No, I'm reading the comments because they're all shitting on me. Anyway, so it's hard. It's distracting to not get shit on. So I really loved watching the crowd for some reason in this matchup. They fucking loved Otis. Shinsuke versus Otis. It was just like, it literally gets to a point now where anything Otis does, he's over. Like, not like over, like give him a title over, but like the crowd just eats up Chris Farley in a singlet. That's what he is.
You know why, Nestlemania?
What?
Because there are a lot of carnivores in that crowd. We love meat, baby. And Otis brings the meat. He shows off his meat. He slaps his meat. He shakes his meat. He uses his meat as a weapon. He worms around in his meat. I mean, the guy, he's just the ultimate babyface. This is why they took the risk of putting the Money in the Bank on it. And then they realized they're just like, oh, whatever. And like, it's just like this guy, he hits his stride and all this. And he's good enough in the ring where he has very good matches. So it just, yeah, this was a lot of fun. The crowd just loves this group, especially Otis when he's just out there. Otis saying all over the place. So, I mean, yeah, shake it for me, baby.
I just love when he just starts like it's convulsing. He just like, you know what I mean? Like he's just convulsing. And he's like, it's like when Hulk Hogan gyrating, sure. When like Hulk Hogan does the you thing, like that's all it is. That's his version of fucking shaking it. It's shake and bake, baby. But here's the thing. I was thinking to myself, what a throwaway match, right? Shinsuke Nakamura versus Otis. And then I saw at the end, I was like, oh, Gable versus Shinsuke Nakamura. Now that whets my appetite. It really does. Now, if they let this be a 2 or 3 segment kind of match,
it will. That's what Raw's been doing, baby. Everyone's getting 2-3 segment matches. I love it.
As the kids say, let them cook, right? So, I mean, you know, I think that's important. I think that's very important.
You're so old.
Look at this. Look at this.
Kids say, let them cook.
Convulsing. Nestle's describing his lovemaking technique. Thanks. Thanks.
Oh,
Jesus Christ.
Well, Nestlemania, speaking of meat, a match I really enjoyed on Raw was this match was sneaky super hot fire, and that was The Miz versus Ivar, who continues his hot streak. We're obviously building The Miz as a legit challenger for Gunther at Survivor Series. And yeah, I enjoyed this match. Thought it was fun. And this is a multi-segment match. As we've been seeing the theme on Raw, everyone's getting multi-segment matches, and I think it's making everyone look better. But Ivar's hot streak continues, and Nestlemania, this set up a meat spectacular in the coming weeks between Bronson Reed and Ivar. So giddy up. I'm in.
Giddy up, you say?
Yep.
Giddy up. I love this for so many different reasons, but the one thing that I really enjoyed about this was kind of like Bronson Reed is still a force to be reckoned with here. And when I saw Bronson Reed going against Ivar, my brain immediately went to you and was like, well, you got to go over to tpublic.com/jobberknocker and buy that JC's Meat Match of the Week t-shirt or any type of anything. Whether you know what's funny? I think I might get a Meat Match of the Week sweatshirt. You know what I mean? I think that I feel like that hides, like it makes me feel
you a little warmer in the winter, you know, have a little extra meat on your bones.
Exactly. Yeah. So I just think it's great. But so, you know, it is what it is. But moving forward, something else that tickled my fancy, so to speak, as they say in this wonderful land here, was something that we don't necessarily talk about, but it was like such a small thing here. We kind of talked about it a little bit. but Ivy Nile and Maxine piqued
Mm.
my interest a little bit as a tag team. I was just thinking like, oh, you're not so bad after all. Oh, you're not so bad after all too. I'm like, this is such a weird tag team that I could get behind it. I don't know why. But there's like a certain like it's like Maxine doesn't really know how to wrestle. We know Ivy can just like bruise him and choke him out with that awesome finish. And then I'm like, well, Ivy might have some character or charisma or riz, as the kids say. And then Maxine is full of riz. No? So
Oh my god.
what?
You know what I envision? Because I kind of like this too. Because again, this is I'm looking at him. I'm always thinking about, can we make interesting tag teams for this division? Can we do it? And like, especially with characters that, maybe don't buy as single stars quite yet. And it's just like, I can envision this for some reason, I could see both these women for two very different reasons having incredible hot tags. Like obviously Isle comes in with like the, I just combined her two names. Ivy Nile comes in with like the power and quickness, but Maxine could come in with the craziness and just, I could see the crowd just going nuts for a hot tag for her. So yeah, I think this is crazy enough to work. We need some babyface tag teams with Chelsea and Piper as champs. And I mean, this would work for me.
It's a C or D feud, but it's okay. Whatever they do, right? So it makes perfect sense. So I was really excited about it. Anything else that you really enjoyed?
Yeah, I mean, keeping with the theme of Rise, I just love people getting opportunities. We had two women matches. I mean, the Zaya Lee Indy Hartwell one was pretty quick, but again, it's like they're continuing to build Zaya. We're getting the payoff next week.
Jobber alert.
It was a job alert. Yeah, this was the only one that really was, but they're really trying to sell us with this Xia Li KO power. But hey, they're doing a good job by her. They're trying to like sell her to us and make her a challenger for Becky. So I'm excited to see how she does in likely a longer match next week. But the other one is Tegan Nox and Piper Niven had a nice little a match going on here where obviously like they're just dragging out them actually going here with a tag team feud, but it's going to be Tegan and Natalia versus Chelsea and Piper at some point, but it's just nice to see like the mid card of the woman actually getting time, and these characters that never really get an opportunity to be on TV and kind of show us what they can do are getting it right now on Raw in the men and women's divisions. And I think it's going to make the whole roster better because it's more people for the top of the card, people to fight. And it's more people to get familiar with. It keeps things fresh. And it just like you just suddenly have all sorts of all different unique matchups. So I'm really glad that they're continuing to just feature the entire roster for the first time in years in WWE.
So can I make a quick thing as you were talking? I wanted to stop you, but you were on a roll, so I let you just do your thing. Do you think on some weird planet, let's just say where I like to call Planet Fluffluga, do you think that tonight being Tuesday, somehow, some way, they set up Xia Li is going to eventually beat Valkyria or whatever her name is to win the NXT title just so she can battle with Becky again, to have Becky get it again to go back to NXT? Because I can see that happening.
I think Becky's done with NXT. They got their TV deal over with, okay. So I think you're gonna see more of that. And I think when I expect Lyra to have a pretty lengthy reign here because she's definitely someone that the company is invested in, that Shawn Michaels believes in, because pretty much since she's come over here with her vignette, she's been heavily featured. She's impressed me a lot in the ring. Her character, it's still not 100% there, but she definitely feels like someone that we want to root for and get behind. And I don't know how much you've watched recently, but the new thing that the crowd does during her entrance kind of pumps me up with her music, with the like the yelling. Like when you watch it, you'll see it. But so I'm kind of digging that. But I would expect a more lengthy reign for her to kind of like, solidify that division. Because I think like when they just made the decision to have Becky, like TJ and I were talking about the whole time, it's like we saw Lyra being the one to overcome her. Because again, it's like Becky was her hero. They have that history. And that's someone Becky probably went into the office and said, this is the girl I want to get over. Just like we've seen her do with Tegan and Xia, being like, these are two girls I want to work with, two girls that want to be on TV. And that's someone who I think honestly deserves a lot of credit. I think for this kind of like filling out of the entire women's division is I think Becky has enough power where she can walk right into Triple H's office and be like, look we got a roster full of great women here. And I just wrestled Trish Stratus and Zoe Stark for fucking 6 months. Can I wrestle some of these other women that never get opportunities and see what they can do and get them out there? It's like, they're here, they're working hard. Let's do it. So I think Becky, I'm assuming, deserves a lot of credit for that because she's obviously been at the center of it. And we know she just went down to NXT and did there. So she definitely deserves her props here, but it's on and off the field. I think she's making a huge impact in this division.
That was well said. I don't know what to say. You just, that That was a good clip. I should use it. Anything else that you want to say? Because for me, I'm all out of good ideas at this point. There's a couple of things that I really enjoyed on SmackDown, but I can be talked in or out of, I guess, a little bit.
Well, I mean the rematch of Dragon Lee and Cedric I love. Could watch that every week. Not much to say there. Dragon Lee won, but it's just like that's just a matchup that is good television. But for me, the last thing, it was something that like I didn't love the way the LA Knight segment started because he came out and was kind of like bitching and complaining. I was like, okay, this is the typical. It's like, yes, you lost the Roman Reigns match the way everyone does, but obviously when Waller interrupts, it starts to get interesting. The back and forth between these two is always a plus. I believe LA Knight said the Grayson Waller effect sounds like an STD. That got a big pop from the crowd. Got a little chuckle out of myself there as well, but obviously they had a nice long match here, and Grayson did what Grayson does and made Knight look like $1 million. So it seems like they're going to try to keep the gravy train going for Mr. L.A. Knight. Yeah.
I laughed so hard when Grayson Waller came out and he goes, "Listen, La Knight," and I just went, like, there's no period. He just went, "La Knight," and I just went, that just sounds so ridiculous. But the one part of that entire thing that made me laugh, it was like a $5 picture day haircut. Yeah. Not allowed by, like, I was not allowed near a school. I was just like, Jesus Christ. He got that line out. And he's not going to offend the sponsor. I
think he used that on Cameron Grimes in NXT too. That's like an LA.
But I was just like, holy shit balls. That was as much as they make the comparison of LA Knight doing Attitude Era things, that to me made me like wake up and go like, what the fuck am I watching? Did he just call him a pedophile? Like, what the fuck? On TV, on fucking TV, but whatever.
It's very Rock-esque, which is the LA Knight comparison.
And then he stomped his ass in. So it's like I'm gonna work like Austin, I'm gonna talk like Rock, and I'm gonna be a discount Triple H. There you go.
Yeah, you know?
It's ridiculous. No, but look, there's a lot going on here. We should probably get heaty because there's a couple of things here that are kind of wonky. Get him off my TV. Get him off my TV. Get him off my TV. This is where JC is going to go over to tpublic.com/jobberknocker to put more t-shirts and mugs in his cart.
And also
probably.
Check my bets here. So
check his bets. Is the Dana White fight series on?
No, that ended. But I will say, oh my god, my hockey bet cash, Halliburton cash, Duke's up big, A&M's up big, Cade's almost double digit assists, Providence won big. Oh man, this is a good night so far, baby. But carry on, as Perk would say, my boy, carry on.
Carry on, carry on. So as I'm looking at this, I'm really just kind of sitting there thinking to myself, one thing that really bothered me very quickly was this, like, I appreciated it a little bit, but Jimmy Uso doing the like LA Knight, we're not done with you, yeet, and then he gets a phone call in the middle of it, and it was just like, no yeet. And I was just thinking to myself, okay, like, I understand what they're trying to do here, but it's coming off as so slapstick and silly that it's just like, of course someone's going to never take Jimmy Uso seriously, and I feel like they need to take Jimmy Uso seriously as a threat. Not necessarily seriously all the time, but Jimmy is nowhere near fucking Jay at this point. Like, you watch Jay's entrance and you're just like, I'm at a fucking concert, man. You know what I mean? Like, I love it. And then, you know, Jay Uso gets a yeet shirt. That thing is going to sell in the top 5. There's just no doubt about it. Like, that yeet shirt is awesome. But then there's Jimmy Uso doing the like, no yeet. And it's just like, okay, fine, whatever. I don't know. It's hard. It's fucking difficult with me. And I know they're going to stretch it out to Mania, and I'm sure Jay will get the big victory, but I feel like Jay's trajectory is like, he might be the one to edge out Gunther and get the IC title. But Jimmy,
I have a different theory on that now.
Which is
Ludwig.
Oh, okay.
Is an Elimination Chamber in Germany? Or is that Australia?
Oh, that's Australia.
When's the Germany show?
August.
Okay, well, maybe
your theory.
Well, I don't. Well, no, it's just one of those things. It's like, it's especially with that backstage segment on Raw where we saw like Ludwig trying to take credit, and then Gunther turned and actually like gave the credit to Gio. And I'm just thinking, I was like, I'm watching this, and I'm like, they've gone out of their way to feature Ludwig in a lot of singles matches. They've given the guy vignettes. They're making him like his own thing. That a split is happening at some point, and it's just like, I mean, obviously, like Gable's still a guy that I would love to see it as well, but it's just like, the answer might have been in front of us the whole time, because if they're gonna give it on to the next guy, and you want that workhorse type champion who has a very interesting, phenomenal, like low, like underrated character, the answer might be Ludwig. And I'm sure Gunther, as a guy, like, would that be a guy that he'd advocate for backstage, being like, yeah, I want I want to wrestle my boy and I want to put my boy over, just kind of like how we did with Dragunov. So that to me, I was kind of reading the tea leaves there, but I'm like down the line, I'm like, this feels like he could be the guy now. But it is interesting because I mean, there's a lot of guys on Raw that could do well there.
Gunther won me over on this past week of the bump because he put Bret Hart in his place, but also I don't know if you saw this clip. This clip made me fucking chuckle as hell. They showed a picture of the Ultimate Warrior with the IC title, and he goes, the dark ages of wrestling. And I went, Jesus Christ. He goes, this man doesn't know how to wrestle. He's a bodybuilder. I was just like, he is. He absolutely He goes, all he was a showman. All he was a showman. He shook the ropes for 10 minutes. And I was like, Jesus Christ. How does he get away with this shit? But I love it. I absolutely
Gunther's the man.
It's unbelievable. It's like, if you don't know how to wrestle, to him, he has zero respect for you. And that's such a great thing. Like,
that's why this Miz feud is so good too, because the Miz literally is I talked about it last week, the opposite of everything Imperium represents.
Yeah, it's fun. It's definitely fun. Sorry, we're in the heat here. Something that something that made me kind of like feels like a lopsided thing here is like Damage Control is very deep here. I don't know if they're going 4 or 5 women. I don't think
Dakota's not clear. She's still in a boot.
Right. So there's that. But then there's like Shotzi, Charlotte, Belair, and who? You know, like it just feels like a lopsided team here. I mean, we assume Becky's going to be part of it.
I was going to say, if Becky doesn't really have anything to do, and as we know, there isn't really. I mean, they have GMs now who fake enforce the brand split, but it feels like if it's not Becky, I feel like it's someone like Becky because I feel like they really want to stack that team.
I just don't. When I looked at that team, I went, "What the fuck?" Like, if it's 5 people, they got to fill like at least 2 more spots. And I'm just not interested in this feud.
I would think that will be 4 because it's Io, Kyrie, Asuka, and Bailey, right?
But then why would you have 4 women and 5 men? That doesn't make any sense.
Well, I'm
just saying equality, man. I'm an advocate. I'm an advocate.
As we know in WWE and in wrestling in general, there's a lot of fake equality, not actual equality.
Well, yes, that's true. That's very, very true. I'll give you that. Let me see. Anything else that I don't necessarily love here? Let's see. I think we talked about pretty much everything. Oh, we didn't talk about. Well, we kind of did, but it was Ciampa versus Ludwig, so that was a fine match.
We didn't do always in the heat segment yet.
What do you mean?
Who's always in the heat?
Plenty of people. I'm brain dead now. What are you trying to get over?
She had multiple segments on Raw, and I think I fell asleep during all of them.
Well, what are you talking about? Who particular?
She's so uninteresting that Nestle can't even remember Zoe Stark. There it is, Guthrie. She's so uninteresting. Nestle forgot she existed. Oh my goodness.
So here's the thing, right? So Zoe Stark in ring, and then we've talked about this over and over again, Guthrie. This is the same fucking comment every single time. No one's ever going to ever say Zoe can't wrestle. She's great
Natalia
wrestler.
2.0, and I don't mean that as an insult. That's just who she is.
The problem is you watch Rhea Ripley, and again, Rhea Ripley had to find herself, right? She's been in the WWE for, I think, 6 years now. She had to find herself, reinvent herself. But when you watch, this is where you know Zoe Stark is not even fucking close to being on that plane yet. She's just not. She might be a champion someday. Maybe a quick reign like a Liv Morgan or something.
She'll get a championship.
She'll get a championship.
She's too good a wrestler not to get one. And literally, she's been someone who has been, and that's a little exchange with Guthrie back and forth in Twitter. It's like she has been heavily featured and pushed since her debut. Like they have put in, she literally got called up to Raw, was paired with Trish Stratus, and was involved in a feud against Becky Lynch for 6 months. Like they clearly think highly of her as an asset in this division for a reason, because they know, like, oh, we can send her out there with anyone. She's gonna have a good match. But not top of the card type stuff.
She's going to slip on a banana peel and lose, or get hit in the face with a steel chair.
Or just get beat clean by Rhea Bloody Ripley.
So here's the biggest telltale sign. And this is why Guthrie should really call himself on the carpet if he's really a master storyteller.
He's going to be so mad, listeners. I was trying to be nice, and then you just completely forget Zoe.
Oh, I am Randy Mossing. I am Randy Mossing him in the end zone right now. I'm pulling my pants down. So look. Here's my biggest thing, Guthrie, and I love you. I really do, buddy. But she cannot talk her way out of a goddamn paper bag. She's got no bass in her voice. She's got no conviction in her voice. She needs to take acting lessons. She needs a coach. She needs to find some type of passion when she speaks because she's just like, she just sounds like somebody complaining about her groceries in the fucking aisle. Like, she's too many items and she's just like, I have enough. Like, all she is just complaining. That's all she is. She just has that annoying voice and she's just trying to come off like something really good. So Guthrie, then you compare it to Rhea Bloody Ripley and she's sitting there just slowly talking, got the crowd in the palm of her hand and they're all chanting mommy, mommy. And she goes, you can do that. She takes her time. She's comfortable. Zoe looks like she is shook when she talks. She's ready to be like this with the microphone. I'm sorry if that sounded weird, but anyway, that's what she looks like to me. She's not even fucking close. And if you want to be on TV every week, folks, you got to learn how to talk. You want to be on fucking TV and you want to have a championship, you better fucking talk. She might as well just stick those fucking squirrel nuts in her face and shut the fuck up. I'm done.
Oh, I'm so glad we do video now because I can't stop. You just eviscerated her. Like, Jesus, it's funny. Guthrie's coming after me on Twitter, and you're the one literally eviscerating her. Oh my goodness!
What a disgusting act from Nestlemania. Thank you,
gracious.
Joe, for the commentary from Rating Boss. Thank you very much. Oh man, sorry. I love Guthrie. He gives me endless content.
Guthrie's the man. He just, his Zoe Stark thing is odd.
He picks losers. That's just what it is. He picks losers. We said this already. He picks the unemployment line. That's exactly.
Hey, you know what? I'm glad that Zoe Stark has a fan. Good for her. Good for Guthrie. But yeah, no, I mean, look, I don't feel as strongly and as meanly as Nestlemania does. Clearly. Jesus Christ. Just fucking like, you took Drew McIntyre's big shiny sword and kept stabbing her until there was nothing left to stab. Jesus. Look, I mean, I'm
right. Just say I'm right and let's move on. That's all you have to do.
When she interrupted Rio, it was just like woof. And then the backstage thing, it's just like, thank God Nia Jax came in because Nia Jax is still the most interesting person. All these people get together. Raquel's getting better. By the way, Nia versus Raquel next week. I am pumped for that fucking battle of the strength. But yeah, no, it's just like
that's a lot of meat.
Yeah,
a lot of strength.
Potential meat match of the week nominee for next week. I haven't got to mine this week yet. Maybe we'll get to it when we get to the finish.
Ooh, I like good. I like a good meat, like a good
little meat tease. What the fuck, Duke? Michigan just went on a run. Fucking Sparty.
Michigan State.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so you're watching the ACC. Okay.
I know.
Tom Izzo to me always looks like he's half a second away from fucking losing it every single minute of it.
In the Big Ten.
Oh, whatever. I don't fucking know.
Duke's in the ACC, but yeah, no, it's these preseason tournaments which count, but it's cool. You get a lot of fun matchups. But fucking Duke was up like 12, and now this freaking dude with a headband hitting threes. God damn it!
It's the headband. I'm wearing headbands now.
I'm a sucker for dudes in college, especially who fucking wear headbands and shoot the three.
Anyway, I think we've talked about enough negative and positivity. Unless you got anything else.
After what you just did to poor Zoe, let's get hopeful. Glorious, you're my only hope in Nestlemania. I'm going to be positive about a female superstar, and I'm going to AEW because I was thinking about this, and I was like, you know what? The AEW women's division is much maligned, but there was one character that really stands out to me, and is someone that, like, whenever her entrance comes, or she's in a match, like, I'm just interested because she is one of the most flushed out characters in AEW. It's simple to understand. Her presentation is really good, and she is someone who's improved so much, I think, in the last year. I'm going to the House of Black, and I'm talking about Julia Hart because, I mean, her entrance is great. The House of Black entrance, period, is great, but it's just like she sings along to it. It's just the music is good. Whenever it comes, I just kind of go side to side. You got Big Brody always behind her doing his thing, but this hope here, it's not just about her, Nestlemania. It's about all of House of Black because this Saturday, when they fill the gears with might and grit, the House of Black has an opportunity to win some titles. They're in a triple threat for the tag team titles with FTR and Ricky and Big Cass, I believe. What the fuck's his name? Big Bill. Yeah, Jesus. Double B. Big Bill. So they have the chance. And then Julia Hart is in a match for the TBS championship. But it's not the size. It's also a triple threat. It's her and Statlander and a winner of, I think, Sky Blue and someone on Wednesday. But we're assuming Sky Blue is going to win because she's the one involved with this feud here. Obviously, ever since Julia missed her, she has the darker look. She's acted weird, but she still really loves Willow, doesn't really seem to like Statlander. So I'm just thinking, if we're getting a triple threat, Chris Statlander, Julia Hart, and Sky Blue, and Sky Blue clearly doesn't like either of them, but she kind of been misted, so she's got the little weird shit going on. I'm thinking this is a great opportunity for Julia Hart to win the TBS championship and put the best woman's character in AEW right now, put a title on her to kind of lift this whole division. And I think with the House of Black presentation, especially if the boys, the other part of the hope is that they win the tag titles, get on a real tag team. What do they call themselves? The Kings of the Dark Throne or some shit. I don't know, but them and FTR is the money feud. So have them go over, have them pin Ricky Starks or Big Bill, because them winning the titles was a surprise anyways, whatever. But yeah, that's my hope pretty much, that House of Black bring home that gold, baby, at Full Gear. We'll see if I think it's going to happen in the predictions, but hashtag JC knows, hashtags JC's hopes come true, and Nestlemania, the house always wins.
That was a lot. All right.
Yeah.
My hope is very, very simple. I was thinking about this a lot while I was watching Monday Night Raw, and I was watching The Miz squeak a victory past Ivar. And all I could think about was, I was fascinated with this, right? And all I could think was, man, The Miz as a babyface has been tried multiple times and failed miserably, right? Like it just doesn't fit. So here's my
purpose?
What?
Miserably.
No, as a matter of fact, I thought you were going to say it doesn't fit, which is why you should buy an XL at tpublic.com/jobberknocker instead of a large, which was something we were talking about before.
Yeah, because my large is always shrink, so I just got an XL and shrink it.
I get it. Well, he's not like me and get a medium, so it's fine. But anyway, beside the fact, I was thinking about this a lot. I was listening to The Miz talk to Gunther about he'll do anything and do whatever it takes to win, and I was like, I love that. Here's what I want The Miz to do. The Miz has failed miserably, no pun intended, when it comes to being a babyface. He just hasn't been able to connect over the years. But who is the one of the most universally loved babyfaces of all time who had heel tactics, JC? You weren't paying attention. Caught with your pants down. Stop betting and stop buying things on tpublic.com.
I'm not betting, I'm checking my bets.
Oh, you fucking asshole.
I do have to finish my TeePublic order. That's a good reminder. But yeah, anyway, to answer your question, Eddie Guerrero.
You weren't paying attention. Thank you, Eddie Guerrero. Yeah. What we need Miz to do here, folks, is to have Miz flat out go full Eddie Guerrero and lie, cheat, and steal. But do it with a wink and a nod and do all that fun stuff, because I think he is somebody that can take that and run with it and make it his own Miz kind of way. Because when I saw the crowd chanting for the yes kicks, I went, this is fucking bizarre. It's working. And then when he fucking won with the cheating, I was like, okay, we're off to the races. This makes fucking perfect sense. But if he can do the chair spot, or if he can find something that makes him more cheating and still winning, I think that would work immensely in his favor, because the Miz can use that Eddie Guerrero type style. And it's been a very long time. Eddie's been gone for a very, very long time. I think at least 15 years. And I think it would really help the Miz get over as a babyface. And I think that would be changing the Miz from being just universally known as one of the best heels who can just slip on a banana peel and do anything, to transferring to being one of the best babyfaces and just one of the best entertainers overall in the WWE forever, if he can do something like that. So that is my hope, that the Miz takes a little page out of Eddie Guerrero and applies it and makes it his own.
I like it. I love that.
I'm not going to do any hashtags because you give me shit about it. So let's just move on to our.
This was the week you could have got away with it, because I'm t-shirt shopping. But yeah, no, let's get to the comeback. Nestlemania, don't call it a comeback. I'm giving it to my boy JD McDonough, because the JD stands for Judgment Day, and the day has finally arrived where he is officially a member of Judgment Day. He once again sacrificed himself for Damian Priest, and Priest finally gave him his stuff, because Rhea was like, yo, man, we got to put him in. It's time. And Priest was like, I guess. And he went and he officially did it. But I thought it was a cool moment for JD, because he's a guy, I mean, look, you kind of hinted at it, where it's like, you say it's like, it's scary. He's putting himself in that Dolph Ziggler role. I don't think that's scary. I think that's a great spot, especially when you're starting out, to be a guy that people want to work with, because they know you're going to make them look like $1 million. I mean, the dude's a stud in the ring. He's undersized, but he's been a guy that ever since NXT UK, that he's been a hashtag JC guy. So I'm pumped for him. It's good to see him finally get recognized as an official Judgment Day member. It's made sense from the beginning. He fits with them. He's Finn Balor's protege, man. So it makes sense he's in a stable with Finn Balor, but it was cool to see him finally get that. So JD McDonough, you get my comeback this week.
I don't know. Before I give my comeback, I don't know if you saw that the backcracker sent me a Photoshop of you and him.
Yes. As the Alpha Academy?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if anybody can see this.
I mean, I've always wanted to be Chad Gable when I grow up, so.
Oh,
Thank you!
I love the eye patch. I don't know if he's supposed to be Escape from New York or something, but that's fucking cool. I love it. He also surprisingly looks a lot
Should have
like
put
Otis.
you as Tozawa. By the way, the backstage segment with Tozawa, he was just the dude is so funny. Him like with the commander's title. He's a fucking treasure, man. Tozawa
really
is an
is.
absolute treasure.
It's unbelievable. Anyway, my comeback goes to, are you ready, kids? Aye, aye, Captain. I'm giving mine to one and only somebody that I have shit on, somebody that I've thought is just fucking wasteful on my television. I've actually said, get him off my TV, get him off my TV.
This could be a lot of people.
It could be a lot of people. He is also, Bertsky, are you ready for this? A fellow Adam, not Adam Cole, not Adam Hangman Page. I am giving my comeback to one Adam Pearce. That's right. Adam Pearce is getting my comeback because all I can say, folks, is that this week with this in-ring promo with Rhea Ripley, I was like, well, somebody took his balls out and did something tonight. Like, wow, he was like on fire and like putting her in place. And all I got thinking about was, here's Nick Aldis on SmackDown acting like just calm, cool, and collected. And then there's fucking Adam Pearce with his fucking vein coming out of his forehead. And I'm like, I like this. I like this. This is what I was waiting for. Instead of him being a fucking brown noser for 3 years and being like, it's official. It's official. Let me make sure I know somebody. That's official. Now it's just like, I'm losing my goddamn mind. And I love that. I think that's great. More of that, less of the fucking brown noser, and I'm in. That's it. That's my comeback. Give me fucking Crazy Pierce. I think it's entertaining. And I think it's a nice little juxtaposition, as they say, when it comes to the Judgment Day going against the Authority. So I'm interested in it.
He became a man last week when he said, War Games. And I mean, we led the show with it last week. So I'm this Nestlemania. This is one of your better comebacks ever. I've always been a hashtag Adam Pearce guy. I'm pumped for him. It is official. Nestlemania, part of the APFC, the Adam Pearce fan club. Great comeback there this week, Nestlemania. But we're going to the big old finish now. And we have a lot of stuff to do. We're going to get to Full Gear. There's a lot of freaking car things like Fast Lane, Full Gear. There's all sorts of things you can
gear
do
shifts.
But, yeah, before we get to AEW, we do have to run through SmackDown this Friday. We have LA Knight, taking on Jimmy Uso.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, LA Knight wins. I mean, it's not even fucking close.
Yeah, I thought they might say this for a pay-per-view, but also on Friday, Solo Sikoa returns. They're making a big deal out of it. As the interim tribal chief, Solo Sikoa, will be returning. So he might have something to say about this match as well. But yeah, the interim tribal chief is what we will call him.
I'm sorry. I can't collect my thought after that because it just makes me think he's like the assistant manager or something. Like, oh, I'm sorry. I don't know.
The assistant to the assistant manager.
Yeah, Roman's out today. Can I fucking play manager? It's just ridiculous. Whatever. Okay. Yeah. Okay. You got me. Continue.
We head over to Raw, and we have, as we mentioned throughout the program, Becky Lynch versus Xia Li, Chad Gable versus Shinsuke Nakamura, Raquel Rodriguez versus Nia Jax, and the Men's War Games Advantage match.
I don't care about anything except for Gable versus Shinsuke. That's it.
I'm interested in Becky and Xia Li because I'm just interested in these characters that we haven't got to see a lot of. And this is, I think, the first like real test for Xia Li. We've seen her in squash matches, but I don't think this is going to be a squash. So let's see what she can do against a competitor like Becky Lynch.
Do you think Becky's going to sell the kick and that's it?
I'm curious how they do it. I'm interested. They have me interested, which I think is good. This is not a title match for the woman, and it's something that's heavily featured. I'm interested in it. It's a good sign on Raw.
Well, listen, I will say this. I will say this just very quickly. I just want to say this. Stop fucking, pumping the brakes on me. Let me get my point across, please. Don't stifle me.
I'm going to stifle you.
That's all you do in this
tower in this bitch.
You're a
get that shot out of here. I'm not a stiff tower. I'm the stifle tower.
The stifle tower. So you don't Eiffel Tower. All right. Anyway, we could go down a road that way, and we're not going to do that. I think here's what's going to happen. Xia Li is going to win by some type of fucking knockout in terms of count out. They're not going to let fucking Becky Lynch eat a fucking pin they're not going to fucking say, oh, she's knocked out, ring the bell. They're not going to do that to her. They're just not. They don't do that to her. She's the man.
I could see this match going like 10 minutes and then ending by DQ because it gets too physical. I don't know if they want Zay to take an L here, but I also don't. I feel like they're gonna drag this out a little bit to try to let Becky like really give her like the full Becky treatment. So
this is me as Gilbert. Me as Gilbert. I don't know if you can see this.
I mean, that's a pretty good representation because yeah, you are the Gilbert of this program. Dana. All right, should we get to AEW? Speaking of Goldberg, someday.
Yeah,
maybe,
whatever. Sure.
Well, we'll piss through Dynamite real quick. There's a Like a Dragon street fight. For some reason, I just hear it in some like shitty 80s song. The Callis family, which is not the full family because Sammy's hurt. There's somebody filling in. I forget who it was. Taking on Jericho and friends, Kenny Omega. Well, it's the Big Show and Kota Ibushi.
Can't wait for Big Show to turn on him. That's it. That's fucking happening. I don't give a fuck.
Big Show's literally in this match just to let Will Hobbs throw him around, which I'm all for. Like, powerhouse.
I just think Big Show has to turn on him just so he can fucking. Big Show said to me, he goes to me, yeah.
He said to you,
yeah. Fucking stop that right
White
there.
On the Rinner.
Paul Wright and I are big friends. We play golf on Fridays. No, he said in an interview, before I'm done, I want to wrestle Kenny Omega, and I just started chuckling. But this would be his way in. This would be an easy way in.
Technically going to wrestle Kenny Omega in this match, so there you go. But yeah, the guy has like bionic knees at this point. Like it's like
he
Jesus,
can't even move. Like when I saw him at
know.
the top of the ramp, I'm like, man, I heard clicks when he was walking to the ramp. You know,
I bet they make a match at Full Gear. It'll be Hobbs versus Show, and Hobbs will squash him real quick or some shit. It feels like that's where it's going. But whatever. This is a match. But before we get to Full Gear Nestlemania, I teased it. Hashtag JC's Meat Match of the Week. I was on Dynamite. You know what it was?
No,
you didn't watch Dynamite.
I did, but I can't remember what was on it.
There was a lot of meat in a match between Samoa Joe and Keith Lee.
Oh,
and after Samoa Joe successfully defended his Ring of Honor television championship, he left it in the ring because he's like, fuck, I'm done with this shit. I want MJF's title, which, I mean, it just what a slap in the face to that title. But, I mean, they didn't want to have him lose it. But this match, if you haven't seen it and you like meat, I recommend it because there was a lot of meat in this match. And Keith Lee's some of the athletic meat. So you mix that with the submission meat and the athletic meat, you get a nice big old meat pie. So.
You have a lot of entendres about meat.
Who does I just love eating meat. I could eat meat all.
You're a carnivore.
I am.
So JC should just be just carnivore. That's it. Like that's just what it is, man.
It's pretty accurate.
So I just
chilling, just carnivore. Jesus Christ, I'm everything.
Well, you're walking on water and turning water into wine, right? So it's fine. I used to do that like every podcast. You remember that for like this stretch? Then I ran out of shit to say.
You can see me though.
I can see you. That's true.
Yeah.
One other thing I wanted to bring up because you kind of glossed over it. I was fucking irate, which is a great word. It's a $3 word. When he being Samoa Joe, beat Keith Lee and then just vacated the title. And I just thought to myself, you could have just had Keith Lee win. No, I understand you can't have Samoa Joe lose. I get that. But vacating the title for me is just another fucking reason why I can't stand this shit. It's just, I can't stand it. Like, I don't want ROH in my fucking AEW programming at all. And yet it's still fucking there like an STD. It just comes back. It just fucking does. And then you have the fucking audacity to fucking vacate the title. Get the fuck out of here. Have him not defend it for 30 days and strip him of it. I get, but just fucking throwing it in the ring and leaving it there. I just went, what a fucking stupid idea that is. That right there is the dumbest thing you can do to devalue a title. That was honestly one of the better titles in Ring of Honor that nobody gave a shit about anyway, but at least it was worthy. So just fucking stop, Tony. Stop fucking snorting for 1 second. Look up at your monitor and realize the bad fucking decisions you make. You fucking little man. Sorry.
This is just coming for people this week. Zoe, Tony, if your name ends in Y, you're fucked this week. We head over to Full Gear where hopefully no one's name ends in Y. But as of right now, at this moment, we have 9 matches scheduled. That seems a little light for AEW, but one is on the pre-show, and we're talking about it in Nestlemania because it's a tag team match for your favorite company, the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Championships. MJF, the champion, alongside to be announced, will take on the Guns of the Bang Bang game of there we got going on Austin and Colton. I'm pretty excited for this. I mean, MJF and the Guns to me is just like, you're going to get high entertainment. It's really been heavily teased that he's going to have to submit to Samoa Joe to help him out here in this match. The Acclaimed was taken out by, they're still doing this devil gimmick, and it's not MJF because he was in the ring when it happened. So that's a whole nother thing. That couldn't make a play on this pay-per-view, but we've also seen them attack the Bang Bang game. So who the fuck knows what's going on there? Maybe it's CM Punk. Ha! But Nestlemania, who do you think is MJF's tag team partner, and who do you think wins the match?
I think he's going it alone and he wins somehow, some way. I don't know why. Maybe the devil helps him out. I have no idea, but I could cause a distraction here. I think MJF has to win to continue this on, and I don't think he's going to get. Stop fucking looking at your monitor and look at me while we're doing this.
Duke's
podcast.
up 12, bitch.
Don't look at me. I didn't bet against them. Jesus Christ.
I'm excited.
Duke's a big bitch. So listen, MJF wins. That's what I'm saying. By himself because he's a fucking crazy person.
I think so too, but I think he'll get help from Samoa Joe, whether he's in the match or Samoa Joe just comes out and does it because feels like they're setting it up. But we head to the main card of 8 matches. First up, in no particular order, we have a singles match for the AEW Women's World Championship. Timeless Tony Storm with Luther. I must have missed that. Taking on the champion Hikaru Shida. I feel like Shida retains here, but I mean, this is the best Tony Storm's ever been. But I mean, if Shida's going to lose this thing again after just getting it, it'd be weird. So give me Shida.
I feel like something has to happen here with Tony Storm freaking out. So I will also pick Shida.
Next up, we have a first of many multi-man matches, a 6-man tag team match. Playa, Sting, Darby Allin, and Adam Copeland with Ric Flair. Oh my God. Versus Christian Cage, everyone's daddy, Luchasaurus, and Nick Wayne. I mean, I can't see Sting. Sting never loses. I doubt Copeland's going to lose. So they're probably going to beat the fuck out of Nick Wayne and pin him 1, 2, 3 in the middle of the ring.
Yeah, I was going to say Sting doesn't lose, Darby doesn't lose, and Adam doesn't lose. So, you know, it is what it is.
Next up, we have a rematch of a main event of a pay-per-view from this year, a singles match for the AEW International Championship. Jon Moxley is challenging for the man that he defeated for the title before he got injured, Orange Cassidy, who will bring his title in a backpack and be a stud like he always is. I'm excited for this match. This is one of the matches that jumps out on the card. The first one was good. I expect the second one to be good. It's a nice clash of styles. I do think that Orange Cassidy wins this time because I think Tony Khan realized that it's just like Orange Cassidy is that international title. This is a nice big stamp win for him.
I have a feeling that Jon Moxley wins this back. I'm going to put Jon Moxley down because I just feel like the whole point was to do something with Moxley, and you got to give Moxley something to do. They're not going to put him in the fucking world title anywhere soon. And that's why they've made a great job making this match until they gave it away from Orange Cassidy, making this feel like a very important title. They did a great job with the TNT title. Of course, Christian has everything to do with that. But as much as I love OC, I really fucking love him. But I feel like Jon Moxley is the ipso facto fucking, they just fucking suck his dick and say like, yes, John, whatever you want, John. So it's going to happen. Fucking pay-per-view.
We finally differ on one. There we go. Next up, we have a Texas death match. Hangman Adam Page takes on Swerve Strickland with Prince Nana, who I will say the Nana dance is like my favorite thing now in AEW. So, I mean, I feel like who won the first match of this again?
That's what I was just going to ask you. Joe, who the fucking won?
I would assume Swerve. I'm just going to keep picking Swerve, man, because I think he is on the list of guys who are next. I think it's him. Hangman is like he had his time, and now he's happy to be there, and they're just happy. This has been a fun feud. Maybe they do the trifecta. I'm pretty sure Swerve won, so maybe Hangman wins this because it is a Texas death match. That is kind of his match shit. Fuck, give me Hangman Page.
No.
Give me Hangman Page. I said Texas.
No.
Hangman Page. It's not in fucking ink, dumbass. You can retype it.
I'm just saying right now, I think that's a shitty thing for you to do. I was going to pick Hangman.
Why? I didn't officially pick him yet. I literally talked through it.
Nope.
You're just mad because I didn't think about this before, talk through it, and realize it's a Texas death match.
Listen.
Give me Adam Hangman Page.
Fine. You fucking cocksucker. It's fine. Whatever. Moving on. Let's move on.
You have some vitriol today in your words. Next up, we have a tag team match with a lot of stipulations. Ready for this? Pull out the long list. If the Golden Jets win, they will get the Young Bucks AEW World Tag Team Championship opportunity. But if the Young Bucks win, the Golden Jets must disband as a team. So Nestlemania, we have the team of the Golden Jets, Kenny Omega and Chris Jericho, taking on the Young Bucks, the team of Matt and Nick Jackson. Who you got?
You have a little bit of Howard Finkel in you when you did that.
That's what I was going for.
And No. Yeah. I'm picking the Golden Jets, so it is what it is.
Wow. So you think they're going to get the opportunity?
Done. Hold on, I'm not done. It's the Golden Jets. Yeah, it's the Golden Jets. You're gonna pick the Young Cucks?
I don't know what I was going to do. I don't like this one. I don't know.
Here's what I would say. Here's what I say, right?
Yeah, give me some logic. Talk me into something here.
Here's what I would say. The Young Bucks losing a title match, very, very, very small thing. Doesn't matter. But stopping the Golden Jets from being a thing when they just started it and he got a trademark, that's fucking stupid. That's just, to me, that's a fucking dead giveaway. Dead giveaway.
But you know what I hate, Nestlemania?
That I'm usually wrong about everything?
No, Kenny Omega once again being taken out of the fucking singles division. Literally, he is one of the best singles wrestlers on the planet. Every time he has a singles match, our fucking jaws drop, and they're like, tag team, trio, fucking 8-man, this, that, oh, now let's do a tag team with Chris fucking Jericho. Give me the fucking Young Bucks just because I want these motherfuckers to disband. I'm picking with my heart on this one. Give me the Cucks. Next up, we have a 3-way match for the AEW TBS Championship. Chris Statler defends her title against Julia Hart. And then the winner of Wednesday's match between Sky Blue and stir it up herself, Miss Red Velvet. I'm picking Julia Hart, Nestlemania. I'm going with my hope. I think it's time. Statlander's had a decent reign, but Julia Hart's had an incredible year, only taking the 1 L. I think it's time. Triple threat. She can freaking get help from Sky Blue or pin Sky Blue. So give me Julia Hart, new champ.
I feel like that's a good pick, but I feel like right now Statlander hasn't done a lot in my for my impression. So I feel like she needs another win here, and Sky Blue might be in there to take the pin and upset Julia Hart.
All right. So next up, we have a more multi. Wait, what the fuck? Oh, I forgot a team when I did my hope earlier. Well, it's a 4-way tag team match for the AEW World Tag Team Champ. Jeez.
Le Faction and Grobna.
Yeah, I forgot about them. Ricky Starks and Big Bill, the champions, defend against La Facción Ingobernable, Rush Andralistico, who are taking on FTR, Cash Wheeler, and Dax Harwood, and the Kings of the Black Throne. I saw your comment earlier, Joe. Thank you for that, because I'd forgotten. Malachi Black and Brody King. You know what, Nestlemania? The house always wins. Give me the House of Black. We're going for it, all in on the hope.
Wow. Okay. The house. The house. Whose house?
They always win.
The house. I don't know about that, but my thing can.
The house always wins. That's literally what it says. You know, it's
I literally just typed in.
You're calling Malachi a liar?
You calling me a liar?
He's gonna spin kick your head off, fool.
I'm gonna pick FTR. That's just because it's me.
Back after all that.
Yep.
That would be a very AEW thing to do.
Yep. I just feel like FTR. By the way, we're 3 deep here. This is where you lap me if you're right, by the way. So you're only down 2. So this is a big night for you. Big night. I've
been kind of on a roll. I am predicting.
You have been.
Yeah. I got all the way to WrestleMania. So JC,
slow down.
Coming for that ass. Yeah, I should slow down. I'm going to peak too early. It's going to be one of those teams I peak in week 13, then I get bounced first round of the playoffs. Hopefully you're not my Niners. Next up, the main event, singles match for the AEW World Championship. The man, the myth, the champion. I call him a myth because he doesn't actually have the fucking title. MJF defends the title that Jay White's had for a month against Jay White. We have a lot of shenanigans going on here. MJF would have already wrestled at this point against some of Jay White's friends. You got Juice juicing all around the ring. You got this fucking dude running around in MJF's devil mask with all these other fucking dudes beating people up. I mean, I feel like the reign has to continue, but for the first time, I feel like his title might actually be in doubt on Saturday.
I would say I'm picking MJF, and here's why. They haven't necessarily come out and said MJF is going to stay with AEW, right? However, let's think about this, folks. He's got, if we're being generous here, he's got a month and a half left on his contract. If he does not sign, right, he still has Wardlow and he still has Samoa Joe in his sights. And there's a thing called World's End, which is pay-per-view that happens before the end of the year. So I do not see him losing this at all. And I imagine they're going to go to the 11th, the 12th hour if they have to with this fucking thing, just to make everybody sit on the edge of their seat to see if he's staying, which he will.
Are we getting a little Bay here in this match?
I don't think so. I think the devil does come out at the end of this and somehow we have some type of tease.
Who do you think the devil is?
Well, let's take a look. They could be Jack Perry. Yeah, right. Could be Britt Baker. I don't think so. To me, it's more like Adam Cole is the devil. That was what I would want it to be. But
that would be intriguing to me as well.
But I just don't know because it's intriguing in general, right? But if it's CM Punk, I'm gonna be like, oh, for fuck's sake, like I get it.
That
It's
would be
just
fucking hilarious.
because people because like the conspiracy, and I love a good conspiracy theory, as you know. But it's like they threw him through real glass, is what they said, right? So it's like, okay, it's got to be Jungle Boy or CM Punk because of that. But then it's like the best thing the devil ever did was to make you think he didn't exist, right? CM Punk didn't exist. He was gone, right? They could have fucking just pulled the rug out from underneath you here for 2.5 months or 3 months. And here's something else, right? Like that really, Jay White and MJF have had promos back and forth talking about the real world's champion. They've gone out of their way. They've gone out of their way for CM Punk to come back if they want.
Oh God. AEW is fucking hilarious. They've gotten so much better with so many things, but then there's other things where it's just like they're fucking typical AEW.
I doubt it's CM Punk. I would bet.
Yeah, I think that's a long shot. But obviously I could see it, but it's just I don't think it's on the high end.
It's got to be Cole.
I have no idea.
Cole
I think makes the most sense because I don't know who else it is. Like if there's someone else coming in, like the only other top star debut type person I can think is Ospreay, but I don't think this is how they do it. So it's just like I'm thinking of someone who's maybe been out of action or injured, and I'm just like, I got nothing, man. So yeah, I think Adam Cole would be the coolest answer.
I just don't know if I've ever seen Roddy, and someone can tell me because I mean, this is probably where I asked Joe. Has Roddy and the fucking Kingdom ever been in the same place as the masked people when they've been attacked? Because that to me is the telltale sign, right? So
yeah, that would be interesting. And Adam Cole could call his other friends too. There, your little red dragons. So one's injured, the other's not in the company, but you never know. I mean, Bobby Fish ain't doing anything else. So
Bobby Fish is the most unimpressive human being I've ever seen in a wrestling ring in my life. I don't give a shit what
all those mean things you said about Zoe Stark earlier actually like equate to Bobby Fish.
I just get yeah, right, exactly. Thanks you for cue the shimmy. No, Bobby Fish is probably kicking my ass and probably knocking my teeth down my throat. But man,
yeah, Zoe Stark would kick the shit out of you too.
But they're both boring as fuck. That's it. I don't give a shit.
You would not be impressed as you were getting your teeth knocked out.
Nope.
Yeah,
I'd be sitting there.
I'd be like, yeah, you're boring.
Yep. I wish there was some razzle dazzle with this right hook. Yeah, like whatever. Fucking something. Jesus. Anyway, we've talked way too long. We're ready to get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. I'm done. Right. I gotta finish my jobberknocker.com. tpublic.com/jobberknocker. I gotta finish.
Make sure you go to tpublic.com/jobberknocker because there's only 3 days left to get 35% off of literally anything. Stickers, cups, sweatshirts, t-shirts, tank tops. Is there sweatpants? I don't even know. There's so many things. You can get a flag. You want a tapestry? Get a tapestry. I don't know. There's onesies for children. I don't know, but you should go to tpublic.com/jobberknocker right now. Get your fucking shit today. All right. On that note, thank you for listening to the Jobber Knocker. We've had a lot of fun tonight. We'll be back next week with more Jobber Knocker.